Hello and welcome to Season 3, Round 5 of VRP. We're here in Silverstone, as you can see the big banner in the background on the building. I am once again joined by a co-commentator. This week it's not Scott, however, it is Ghost Fired Up, our resident steward and now co-commentator.
Hello everybody.
I hope that everything's working on stream, like that you can be heard and stuff. I'll check in a minute. But yeah, so we will have a full grid shortly. Everyone's still in the pits. But Ghost, have you ever watched a VRP race?
I've watched parts. I think I watched Shanghai Season 2. And I've seen some commentary bits as we see Felper is leaving the pit lane now.
Team Rollfish as well. Okay, as someone who hasn't seen all too much though, China's a very good one to watch. Any early expectations before we've even seen a first lap?
Well, as his name suggests, and from what I've heard, Rapid is very quick.
Rapid is, yeah, once again, we'll say it again, Rapid is rapid. But yeah, he's 3 race wins so far this season, 6 race wins out of 7, I believe it is. Yeah. So yeah, he's not a slow customer. And Felper, who's new back into the league, is his teammate. So this week we have a full grid of full-time drivers, bar one reserve in the Ferrari. That's Adam O2 Lindbergh, who's in place for Dolga, and he's just leaving the pits right now with hazard time right behind him. First car on track is RQS Tim Rollfish. This will be his last race as a full-time in VRP. He's got other commitments, so we'll bid him farewell and hopefully he has a good race. And hopefully, maybe he'll finally get his first race win.
It would be the ideal scenario, go out on top.
It would indeed. Zauber has now just joined us in the Red Bull. I'm just going to quickly check that everything's working on stream.
Okay, Tim Rolfes is about to start his lap. Coming through the Vale chicane. Now through Club Corner. He sets off on his lap. Flying through Abbey flat out here. Now entering into the loop, not getting disrupted by the traffic. Very slow technical section this, onto the Wellington straight. Nice and smooth there. A long fast blast. We see a yellow flag in sector 3, I think that's just
cars slowing down.
Yeah. Through Luffield here, taking a wide line. It's quite optimal line on this first corner. It's quite a slow, medium. It's a weird one to get right. Now on the run through Cops. Is it possible to keep flat on this game?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Comfortably in 8th gear.
Through to Maggots, Beckett, Chapel, onto the Hangar Straight. It's been a very smooth lap.
I was going to say, he's hooked it up nicely so far.
That was beautiful.
Going to be a good banker for the rest of the field to try and hit.
Coming into Stowe now. Again, very clean, not running too wide, so not invalidated his lap.
Always hit the curb there a bit.
A little bit on the curb, yeah. It's a 125.6, a very good banker for the rest of the field for him. But
well, we're going to quickly see whether or not it is a good lap or not, because Charlie, who loves this track, his home Grand Prix, like many, comes to the final corner. Can he match the time? He can match it and do slightly better. He now goes to the top with
600ths to a second. Let's see how Felper does. Felper a little bit behind.
26.3. Felper never really been a quali specialist, but when it comes to the race, he's certainly consistently gets in those results. And I think he's got 3 or 4 podiums in VRP as Harry now goes to P3 and Limhuis, who had a quali ban, retires in the pits.
Yeah, it's understandable. King Enzo up into P3, 4/10 off of the leader, who is currently Charlie.
Currently Charlie, but Rapid is on a lap. He's just gone... oh, he's had a wiggly moment through I need to work on my on my corner names through here, but into Cops he comes. Obviously going to keep it pinned. He actually shifts down to 7th.
Ooh.
It's the maximum revs.
Fuel very low, so he's going only for one lap only. Opens nicely. Yellow flag in sector 2. Somebody run out of fuel, or he looks like an Alfa Romeo?
I think Bino's slowing down for whatever reason. But Rapid to the final 2 corners through the chicane, gets it through nicely. No twitchy moment like we saw from Tim Rollfish, and to the line he comes. It's easily top once again. Dominant in quali.
Very fast time. 2.5 tenths over Charlie.
Insanely quick. Afonso on the medium tyre set to 26 dead, so he gets himself into the top 4. Marginally ahead of King Enzo. That is very competitive given the compound difference.
That puts him right in the mix for pole position unless Rapid can improve even further, which is entirely possible as the condition of the track improves.
Exactly that, as it's Bino who is starting his lap, and I believe at the moment he's the only car on a competitive run. As we ride on board into turn 1 he goes. Want to cut that inside corner just slightly, which he does perfectly, but you don't want to invalidate as we now have all 20 cars in. Herod in as a full-time driver for the first time since season 1 in the Alpine. But Bino now opens the DRS onto the hangar straight? Question mark?
Wellington
Straight had a 50-50 chance. But it's a purple sector 1 according to the game, which isn't a bad start if that's true.
Very wide through Luffield, gets him a brilliant run into Cops.
It will indeed, and into Cops, will he take the 8th gear or the 7th gear? Because we saw Rapid go down. What is the right way to take it? Bino decides 8th gear is the one. Obviously, a lot less revving through that corner, that means.
Although lower minimum speed it looked like. From what I saw, Rapid's minimum speed was 181. Bino's was 179, so like 7th gear could be the way to go.
And I especially think in the race as well, it may be down to 7th as well with the higher fuel loads. But
absolutely.
Through the final chicane, he does. Yeah, we saw Tim Rollfish do that and lose time for the last few corners. But Bino, losing no time whatsoever, it seems, he goes to the top.
Top by 14 milliseconds. That is a brilliant lap.
Rapid has some competition. Bino got pole in the opening round of the season, and he's back to try and challenge Rapid for that. Omar's on a lap, currently down in P18. He's actually backed off his lap now.
Doesn't look like anyone's on a lap.
No, everyone's kind of out on a lap at the moment. King Kiski, I believe, is the nearest one to the line.
I believe hazard times on either a cool down lap or an in lap. It's not showing any fuel meter, so he could be going for a cool down lap at the moment. Yellow flag in this section of track. It looks like someone's out of fuel.
Someone out of fuel, potentially the Williams there. Or Felper. He's on an outlap, so I believe he's letting everyone through and then going again. Going for the first time is King Kiski through the opening few corners as he comes now onto what I now know as the Wellington Straight. Gets the DRS open. Now not the only Spanish driver full time on the grid. As into
I can confirm that Harry hazard time was on a cool down lap, so he's starting his next lap now.
Hazard time going again. He's
Although it doesn't look like he's turned on his ERS.
Interesting strategy there. Currently the slowest of all to set a time, and the man who loves a P10 just needs to jump 3 more positions to get up there. But King Kiski now going through Maggots and Beckett's. Slightly reserved, and maybe the rear end threatened to kick out a little bit there, but as he comes onto the hanger straight under the Pirelli sign. He'll certainly want to get himself into the top 10, especially with not every driver setting a lap so far. Again, the rear end getting a bit skittish through Stowe as he slows it down for the Vale chicane. Doesn't hit either curb, and through the last corner he comes. Kinkiski sets a time of 26.8, sits in P13.
Charlie's just set off on a lap. He's going through the loop now and onto the hanger straight, the Wellington straight. You got me confused now.
Charlie with a new helmet for Silverstone. In orange and purple.
Slightly down through sector 1, although only by 100th of a second. Oh,
he's had a kick
wobble.
though. A big wobble for a corner he spun at before in season 1. He spun there in the race.
Yeah, understandably he's backed off.
And he's, abandoned the lap. Herod is on a lap as well, yet to set a time. Along with...
also on a lap.
Yep. Avesta, Omar, Lewis and Zauber as well have not set a time along with Herod, but just coming across the line there was one of the Alpines, I believe. Yeah, Blaze Tim, and he jumped up to P8. But Herod, massive riding the first chicane, or the first curve off the Vale chicane, and it costed him time. He's only in P13. And Charlie comes into the pits fully abandoning his run.
Harry potentially getting a brilliant tow for the hanger straight from his teammate. Although it looks like it could be a little bit too far back.
He's also only got 6% ERS, so has he completely drained it? In fact, he's not on a lap anymore as he comes into the pits, and Afonso doesn't seem to be on a overly fast... Oh no, he is! Afonso coming to the line. His first one on the soft tyres gets him up to P3 and just a 10th behind Rapid. And well, it's
a good lap.
It's a big margin now between the top 3 and the rest. 25.4 to a 25.6. In fact, no, I can't read. I could have sworn when Rapid set his time it was a 24. Maybe that's just my expectations of his pace.
Doesn't look like anyone's on a lap at the moment.
I think Zauber might be. He's served his quali restriction and is now out on the circuit. Omar and Avesta may as well. Avesta is validated.
Keats in 8th. I think that's the fastest I think I've seen anyone take cops in 8th here.
Completely committed. And kept it on track as well, the most important thing.
A little bit wide through Chapel. For Zauber.
Revving out 7th gear on the main straight as he comes into Stowe corner. Runs it out wide but not off track. And Omar sets his first time, goes to P14. Zauber to the line, P16, ahead of Hazard Time though, who is still out on track, 3.8 seconds off the pace. I don't really know if he's going for any laps at this stage.
Yeah, it's a very confusing strategy and he finally pits.
Was that just maybe some long runs in quali he was going for there?
I wouldn't call it a recommended strategy.
No. We have Lewis on track and Charlie, both on an outlap. The only two really setting anything up, Zauber and Omar are on their way back to the pits, having set their first laps.
Yeah, Lewis is a bit further on. He's up at Luffield, directly behind Zauber.
Hazard Time has just commented saying he does this at every race. I've missed it so far.
Have a little bit of a lull in the action, although a few cars starting to come out for their final runs, it seems. Can anyone beat the 125.336 set by Bino?
going to have to be a good attempt. Lewis certainly has the pace to try and attempt to do that. He's coming through Stowe Corner to start his first flying lap of the session.
One attempt is a risky strategy, but it's worked before.
It certainly has, and of course it only took Bino one attempt to jump to the top of the standings so far, but Lewis, through the final corner, he comes to start his first lap. And through the first corner, he didn't look as committed as some cars have maybe taken it, but traffic stays out the way.
That was a lovely line through there, perfectly on the curb. Very smooth on the power as well, onto the Wellington straight.
Not a bad start to his lap at all. Charges down in towards Luffield now.
To purple sector 1.
He keeps it tight on entry, goes out wide, and needs to not get any kind of excitable rear end on the exit, and he doesn't, as he flies it towards Cops.
See, will it be 7th or 8th for Cops?
He sticks in 8th as well. So far it's only Rapid we've seen who's committed to going down that gear. It'll be interesting to see if he does it again on his next lap.
Onto the hanger straight now for Lewis. Didn't show that sector as purple. Very nice through. Oh, he's invalidated. He's invalidated.
Oh, and a big spin. He crashes into the pit wall.
That was intentional. Let's see.
The Charlie's on the lap. He's passed Lewis's crashed car. Lewis, whose lap had so much potential, all thrown away at the very end. But Charlie, he's had a moment through the last corner. That's going to lose him all the time, and 3/10 down in the end he was. Charlie at the end, devastating for him. Couldn't set a proper time.
Rapid about to get onto the Wellington straight now. Let's see what his sector 1 is like.
Comes across the sector 1 line now, and he's marginally up. Just marginally though.
It's the exact gap he needs. 14 thousandths of a second.
And now what kind of gear will he take into Cop's corner?
Will it be 7 or 8?
He goes down to 7, he commits to it. Cars starting their last lap, cars finishing their last lap at the moment. As we have Omar started his lap, Herod racing to get towards the line.
Rapid up by over a 10th. It was a beautiful sector 2. Hooked it up perfectly. The session ends.
And there's another spin. Harry's done the same thing as Lewis in Stowe Corner, so he won't improve.
He's impeded Rapid.
And coming onto the track, and Rapid's lap is done. Harry, having the same moment as Lewis, kept out the wall, but coming back onto the track, has impeded Rapid's lap.
Bino unable to improve as well. He's invalidated. It's all
Tim
down to
Rolfish as well, though, coming through the final few corners.
Alfonso is up. Let's see how he is in sector 2. He's up by a 10th. He's currently on for pole position.
And Tim Rolfish goes up 1 position. Afonso, though, into Stowe Corner. Last few corners, he needs to just make no mistakes. He's got the lap time in his hand now.
Very, very nice line through Stowe. Aston Martin comes through the Vale chicane. Very nice and tidy line. No excitable rear through Club Corner. And it's a 29.194. It's a beautiful lap by Alfonso.
He's done it. And now can anyone respond and cause a real shock? Omar to the line. He's sat in P15. He gets himself up to P9. There's Herod who's
P7.
done his lap. Blaze Timio into P7. Vesta's not set a lap time yet. And he jumps up to P2. Great lap there. Felper into P8 as well. Vesta went under the radar.
It was very much under the radar. Within 100th of a second. Wow. Felper had a little bit of a wobble coming out of the chicane that maybe cost him a little bit of time. Could have cost him P6.
At the end of the day, he has made himself into the top 8, and it's one of his better qualifyings in VRP.
So that is the grid set Alfonso on pole, Avesta in P2, Bino in P. Bino completes the top three.
Indeed. Once again, a very similar top three as what we've seen in previous events, but Rapid, of course, fails to get inside the top three, and, well, maybe due to some help from elsewhere.
Yeah, Rapid was on for a lap that I think would have beaten Alfonso's.
Yeah,
It would have been very close.
it was very close anyway. Avesta, just as you said, 9 thousandths behind Afonso. Behind the top four, Tim Rolfish, P5 in his final event, Charlie on return, P6, King Enzo and Felper inside the top 10. Blaze Tim in P9, having scored points for the first time last race. Harry, P10, throwing away his last lap. Quentin and Omar, the two AlphaTauris, in P11 and P12, has a time made up back up to P13. Adam, Lindbergh and Lord Percival, who's trying no line for the first time in a league race, has struggled his way to P15. Herod just behind them in P16, and the rest behind will look to strap up the field on the opening few laps.
It's raining.
It is a wet start.
Stereotypical British weather strikes again.
A wet start, and from what I hear in my ear from Ted Kravitz down below, the rain is forecast to end at some point in the race. So
that should make things entertaining.
Yeah. 2 seconds, Ted. We'll be back to you. Never, but we should see certainly some action within the mid pack of the field on a wet start.
Yeah, I think may see a few incidents in the first couple of corners, possibly a lap one safety car. In these conditions, it's a very high possibility.
According to sorry, I am throwing back to Ted Kravitz. According to him, the forecast says there is no rain. Well, it lied. It's here. It might end very quickly though. A small flash flood has appeared over the Silverstone circuit as the formation lap gets underway, and the tyres that they have gone for.
Everyone on Inter. Everyone on Inter. That track looks very wet.
So wet, but maybe it is wet weather, wet tyre conditions. But if the rain's going to end very quickly, then Inter's is the way to go. Obviously, no one risking for the soft tyres in this conditions. You'd be a nutter.
That would be a very quick way to find the barrier at turn one. Oh, that track is soaked. I think there's going to be a lot of carnage here.
And already 2 disqualifications, Tim and Lewis.
How has that happened?
I believe Lewis maybe has jumped a few cars on the formation lap.
And hit him. Okay, that's
not
ideal for
too happy. The possible race strategies, Inter to Inter. I don't think that's the way we're going to see it go, unless of course it does continue to rain the whole race.
Oh yeah, I'm just seeing this now. Possibly an Inter to Inter to Inter. That could be a very interesting one.
I haven't seen that strategy deployed many times in a race, I can't lie. But Afonso, with especially in wet conditions, a fairly quick formation lap. He's definitely split the field a little bit there. That's Blaze Tim, the one lagging behind a bit, but he's caught up now.
Slowed it down now. It's back in the field. I'm wanting to reduce everyone's tyre temp slightly. No, he's going quick again.
And slowing down. So, quick predictions. Who leads into onto the Wellington Straight, and who's going to be the big mover in the field?
Big mover. I think Harry might be quite a big mover if he's not caught up in an incident. That lap he was on looked very, very quick. As well, I think Rapid could get a good launch and be very quick. Kinkiski disqualified. He's obviously missed his grid slot. Both teams
Herald
at the start of the
likewise.
race.
We wait for Zauber to join the field, but he's slowly getting there. Little touch of the curb, getting prepared to take his line through there in the next 26 laps. But he has joined the back of the field, and we wait as the lights come on. Afonso next to Avesta. Who gets the better launch in the wet conditions? The lights have gone out for us, but not for the drivers. There they go, and Afonso has got a great launch, and he's going to lead easily into turn 1. Avesta's going to have to check his mirrors because Bino's going to come right up behind. But as we go into turn 1, the majority of the field has got away clean. There's an AlphaTauri and a McLaren who have had to escape the track. And Omar already with the penalty. There's even a spin at the back between a Mercedes and a Red Bull, but Afonso leads the way. Avesta kicking out the rear whilst going wide onto the curbing. Bino will be licking his lips, seeing if he can make a move coming in towards Nuffield. Nothing doing there. Rapid right up behind them. The top 4-5 remain intact. Felper moving up a couple positions to get him to P6 as Rapid looks to go around the outside of Bino in the wet conditions. You've got to be very brave to do that. He can't quite do it. The cutback's not on either. So far, the top guys remaining in order.
Yeah, I think the spin with the Mercedes and the Red Bull, that's Liam and Zauber just having a coming together through turn 2. Tim Rothles in his final start has had an incident at Luffield as well. It's not ideal for him.
There's a crash between Lewis and Kinkiski as well as the field really punches up in the mid-pack there. Down fighting for P14 and Lewis has wing damage from it. And at the front, Rapid all over the back of Bino. Bino, who had a better launch than Avesta, couldn't quite pull alongside and now he's having to check his mirrors because Rapid is filling them. And he potentially looked to have a little dive into the Vale chicane, but can't quite send that one. How many cars will pit at the end of this first lap?
Lewis is in.
Lewis is in. He did get wing damage. Rapid is alongside Bino. And into turn 1 he goes. Bino rather made it quite easy. Backed off on the throttle it seemed as if. But Rapid is now into a podium position. Into P3. And Avesta is the next driver to start checking his mirrors because he's already right up behind him.
Yeah, 6/10 at the moment. But good drive out of here. Let's have a look. No, it looks like Avesta gets a slightly better drive. Alfonso still leading by just 3/10 to Avesta, so it's not just Alfonso who'll be worried about Rapid right now. Not just Avesta, sorry, it will be Alfonso as well. Lewis is still in the pits, Liam also in. Zauber is spinning as we speak, doesn't quite hit the wall on the entry to the Wellington Straight.
Indeed. A couple cars into the pits then, yeah, obviously coming back out in the intermediates. They didn't take any kind of risks with strategy so far. The timing tower is glitched a little bit, saying certain cars are a minute behind and a minute ahead, but either way, Rapid then goes slightly wide. Kinkiski picks up a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. And Avesta right on the back of Afonso into Stowe Corner.
I just saw Rapid was right on the back of Avesta before he had that little wobble at Chapel on the entrance to the Hangar Straight. Looks like he's recovered nicely. He's got a beautiful drive as Avesta has a little bit of a wobble at Club Corner. Rapid with the fastest lap of the race now.
Rapid setting the fastest lap as he hunts down Avesta, who, as you said, made that little mistake into the last corner, and what that's done is it's made him, well, pressure Afonso, and now he's being pressured by Rapid because of it. Avesta, though, has recovered very well, and he's right back onto the back of Afonso, and if he had a bit of DRS, if the weather was a bit drier into a left field corner, he could have made the move.
Yeah, no DRS because of the conditions. You see the gap to the leader. There's 1.4 seconds separating the top 4. Bino is still very much in this fight.
Well, these are the 4 that we've seen run away from the field so often so far. In Portimao, these 4 almost got the field by about 10 seconds from the next car until the safety car came out. And once again, they're leaving the rest of the field behind. Charlie, the best of the rest so far in P5, holding off Felper the best he can. King Enzo holding off Harry and Herod, and Quentin's made his way up into the top 10. As I have to say, for wet weather, the mid pack has kept itself rather sensible. Only really 3 cars who are the stragglers at the back.
Yeah, we see quite a few close battles. Tim Rothles is all over the back of Hazard. May look to get past his teammate on the hanger straight. It looks like he's letting him through.
Vesta's all over the back of Afonso, and I'm surprised he maybe didn't actually go for a more serious move into Stowe corner, because he was so close. As Afonso has a wobble, the next car to have a wobble through that last corner as a Vesta. Well, that stat right there backs up the pace he's showing. Fastest lap for him. As we go on to lap 4, Bino's slightly now getting left behind by the top 3 here.
Yeah, just over a second behind Rapid.
And Vesta's shaped to go for the move up the inside of Afonso. A little wall bang between the two. And into Aintree, they're both having a wobble, but Vesta's got the inside. Afonso hangs around the outside. They're side by side on the straight. Who's going to be braver going in at the end of the Wellington? Vesta outbreaks Afonso, but Afonso's coming right back at him.
And he's Rapid going up the inside of Luffield. He can't quite get the drive though.
All kept
Lewis
clean.
now with the fastest lap.
Lewis with it. All kept clean. And Vesta now in the lead.
Alfonso going wide at Cops allows Rapid to get right all over the back of him, coming into Banks and Beckett's.
And as we go onto the straight, will Rapid shape for a move? Afonso lost 1 position this lap. Will he lose another?
Alfonso gets a very good exit out of Chapel. I think it's very unlikely Rapid goes for a move here.
And yeah, we don't see one at all. Not a chance could he send it there, but well, Vesta's showing a place where you can overtake in these conditions, and will drivers now start to use that? Will Afonso use that back on Vesta, because he's just 4 tenths behind? Will we see anyone have a wobble through this last corner this time? Don't think so. Charlie picks up a time penalty though.
That could be very costly for him. That penalty will drop him at the moment down to P7. Tim Rothles is all over the back of Kinkiski, although a few wobbles coming out of the Vale chicane into club.
Felper all over the back of Charlie. And Charlie kicking out the rear massively there. Having to save it. Felper staying just behind him. Those two have a fairly good understanding of each other as they're side by side at the front. Vesta holds off Afonso. He can't quite make the move just yet, but both having kicks of oversteer on the exit.
Tim and Quinton also now currently side by side in at the end of the Wellington straight, and it's a lovely move from Tim down the inside. Oh, there's a crash, Quinton is around.
And he reverses off the track. Quinton, who made such a nice move, is around and outside the top 10, and Rapid now looking to take advantage of Afonso, who's shaped for a move on Vesta. Not quite got the momentum to pull alongside going into Maggots and Beckett's, but as we go onto Stowe, he's right behind him, heading towards the corner. Will he be able to go for the move?
Herod about to go side by side with King Enzo. All over the back of it. That's an aggressive block. Oh, they've crashed, and how has he not gone off track there? How has Herod not gone off track there? That is
good driving to save it. Good driving from Vesta as well. He saved a little moment for the last corner where we're seeing so many drivers struggle.
Vesta not able to drop Afonso despite the threat of Rapid. Bino, despite coming back while they were battling, is now starting to drop back a little bit further.
And Felper did get past Charlie and has now dropped him slightly, a second ahead of him. Can Felper get himself back in towards this lead group like he did last week?
It's entirely possible. 2.6 seconds. He's just got a very nice run onto the Wellington straight. He's just getting 2 tenths on Bino there.
Good run for his teammate as well. Rapid almost pushing Afonso through the corner. There's a spin at the back. That's King Kiski who's gone around.
Looks like Lord Percival could have been involved with that. He's just been overtaken by Blaze Tim and his teammate. Although Lord Percival looks to go around the outside, doesn't quite manage it.
Afonso this lap has had to defend from Rapid a lot, and you can tell now the gap now 1.2 seconds, and Rapid just 2 tenths behind, and Afonso is dropping more and more time as Rapid has to make a good save. I was going to say maybe Afonso's tyres starting to overheat, but Rapid himself there losing the rear. Maybe his are as well. He's right up behind the man in the Aston Martin.
Alfonso now, Avesta, sorry, now 1.3 seconds in the lead. He'll be very happy that Alfonso is now on the maximum defend on Rapid.
Starting to extend that advantage as well. Felper now within 2 seconds of Bino. He's also made Charlie over 2 seconds behind as Afonso bails off the track. That's going to lose him time as Rapid closes in that bit more.
Tim and Adam are very close going through Abbey. Oh, he just has to back out a little bit, does Tim? But is he going to go down for inside going into the loop?
Down the inside, room given.
Just enough move. That's very clean race. That's a brilliant move from Tim.
Good move from Tim. Gets himself up to P11 and blazed him just ahead. The side points is right there as Kinkiski's had another spin at the last few corners. He's now dropped down to last place.
Rapid still unable to get past Afonso as Avesta's gap now goes to 2.3 seconds.
And such as Afonso's pace,
as the VSC.
Yeah, Kinkiski crashing on the start-finish straight. In fact, I think he's retired on track because his car is still moving. Oh, he's not. He's still in the race, in fact. So he has crashed. Just has no front wing. VSC though, no full safety car. And yeah, I was going to say, such as Afonso's pace at the minute, Bino is right up behind him.
Yeah, I think one to look out for on this VSC restart is Felper. He's gaining significantly on Bino over the last few laps.
And he significantly dropped Charlie, who is falling more and more into the clutches of Harry, Herod and King Enzo behind. He was confident of a top 7 finish earlier. He's currently got that, minus penalties.
Yeah, that penalty could come back to bite you. That's a very, very early time to get a penalty. Although he's not the only one, he's the only one out of the top 10.
Certainly so far. As Rapid almost hits Afonso on the VSC into turn 1, Kinkiski, not only does he not have a front wing, he now has a penalty. Oh, another penalty. That's 6 seconds for him.
Harry with a drive-through penalty.
Speeding under VSC. Charlie's not the only one with a penalty now, as he's now lost a position as well to Herod on the restart. Herod's had an amazing restart there. He's jumped Harry and he's jumped Charlie.
Wow. Felper not having a very good VSC, dropping back around 6 tenths from Bino on that restart.
You see the position changes. Herod has been the biggest mover, up 10 positions to P6, and he'll start chasing after Felper now. In terms of losing, Tim Rolfish down 6, Quentin down 5, Kinkiski down 3.
Tim Rolfish with a decent recovery though after that spin on lap 1 at Luffield.
Certainly, yeah. He's right up behind Blaze Tim as well as King Enzo and Harry begin to fight.
Harry with that drive-through penalty as well though.
Yeah.
He's not going to be happy with that.
And Tim right up the gearbox of Blaze Tim. The two Tims fighting for that last points position. And will we see him move into Stowe corner here? Tim Rolfish determined to fight back on his last VRP race. Goes to the inside, and that's going to be a fairly simple move on the brakes, and through he goes.
Yeah, it's a nice move from Tim on Tim.
Certainly, Charlie is the first to bail into the pits for an actual stop, I believe, and Harry serves as drive-through. Is there a stop from Charlie, and what tyre does he go to? Surely it's got to be Inters.
It's got to be Inters, it's still raining. If he goes onto the dries now, it's pure lunacy in my eyes.
Well, there's no pit crew out. He must have got a drive-through penalty as well.
Wow, I didn't see. Well, let me just check the race director.
He's driven straight through the pits, so yeah, and that may explain how Herod jumped both Harry and Charlie. They both panicked, slowed down too late, and Herod jumped the two of them, and well, now they've both lost a heap of positions. P15, P16.
Charlie didn't have a drive-through.
Well, he certainly just set
I
up
know,
one.
yeah, he did. I checked the wrong person. He did have a drive-through.
He volunteered to take one. But
Lewis
that's,
with another fastest lap. Showing
yeah,
very good pace in clear air.
P17. He can now start to see some cars ahead of him. Harry coming up just ahead. Harry and Charlie, and in fact Lewis's race is slightly being destroyed so far. They will need a safety car. And speaking of Kinkiski, that's in the pits. Rapid though, looking for the move on Afonso. He's going to look to go to the outside of him. Can he go the whole way around the outside? He's certainly alongside. And when they get into Vale chicane, he's going to have the inside. Can he brake later than the Aston Martin? Side by side, Afonso's nose is still there. Rapid gives him the space, side by side for the last corner, and they both go off track, and Afonso holds onto the position.
Was almost tempted to say through goes Hamilton there. However, Bino is nowhere near.
If that move can happen again though, Bino will be rubbing his hands together, looking for a move. Well, he shouldn't really rub his hands together, his hands should be on the wheel, but he will metaphorically be rubbing his hands together and looking at a potential P2. As these two fight hard, it means Avesta has gapped them 3.3 seconds ahead of the rest now.
Controlling the race so far.
Looking for his first race win of the season, the reigning champion in VRP. Another yellow flag in sector 1, that's Harry, who's spun now. And it goes from bad to worse for him.
Dry line is starting to appear. I know it's still raining, however there is a dry line appearing, so the rain looks to have slowed down a bit. Could we be looking for dries quite soon?
Maybe another 10 or so laps. Could be a dry sprint to the finish. The rain's slowing down. Tim Rolfish certainly isn't slowing down. He's on the charge. He's on the back of King Enzo looking for a P7 position. Into Maggots and Beckett's we go. Are we going to see another into Stowe move? We won't see one from Rapid, but Tim Rolfish in the McLaren against King Enzo and the Haas. He's right behind him. King Enzo wisely...
Outside he sends it. Is he going to go look for a switchback? No, it's very well defended by King Enzo.
Yeah, and he wisely defends the inside again.
Vale. Oh, he's off the track. Oh, it's a bit of barging. It's a very aggressive move onto the wet stuff, and he's around again. Wow.
Aggressive driving from the two of them, and Tim Rolfish is the one who falls victim. Take on that one, Ghost?
I think Tim should have backed out, to be honest. He was off the track at the first part of Vale. Somehow got it on, I think. Yeah, I think Tim should have backed out a little bit earlier. Although, they need to have another look at it.
Certainly. The progress Tim has made, though, has disappeared, and when he's got the pace, he can try and do it again. He's on the back of Omar already. Rapid still can't get past Afonso.
Yeah, he's stuck behind him all race. With Tim, it didn't look like he got any front wing damage, so he should be free to charge as Zauber gets another penalty.
Zauber with another penalty set in P18. Harry into the pits, this time to actually serve a pit stop of some sort.
Let's have a look, I'll keep you updated what he goes on to. It can't have been another drive through.
He must have stopped for more inters,
no, he's
right?
on a fresh set. He's on a fresh set of inters.
So he's committed to staying on the inters. Maybe that's a sign that the rain isn't stopping anytime soon. Rapid all over the back of Afonso. I feel like I've said that so many times already, but he's been there all race.
Yeah, he's just unable to get past his Avesta is now 4.5 seconds nearly in the lead.
And despite all this, Bino has remained a consistent gap away from them, and Felper since the VSC hasn't been able to make any inroads whatsoever on Bino, and Hero's likewise on Felper.
Yeah, it's like Felper's pace has evaporated somewhat. He was charging to the back of Bino before the VSC, but it's just disrupted his momentum a little bit.
Certainly has. It almost feels as if Rapid's thinking in his mind that these straights aren't long enough. Once again, he committed to using the overtake button, but just ran out of road just before he could really get alongside and put his nose side by side with Afonso's, and through Cox they go a rapid 3 tenths
Lewis and
behind.
Charlie going side by side onto Wellington Straight.
And Lewis gets the position so far as Charlie breaks late on the inside.
Still alongside Charlie, leaves in the room. Oh, he just has to back out there.
Rapid had to back out as well, gave Afonso a little tap on the rear, but just again he couldn't find the line to get alongside Afonso. Afonso drifting slightly wide through Vale. That's going to give Rapid the better exit.
It's also going to give him dirty air.
Yeah, and he's got nowhere to go with any kind of run through there. Tim gets past Omar as well. He's even more determined as before to get back into the points positions. Surely this lap Rapid's going to make the move on Afonso. He's pushing him through. That's loop corner and onto Aintree. He's actually dropped all the way back again. His run was too early. He's not going to be able to get any kind of move done there.
He might be starting to get a little bit frustrated now.
I wouldn't blame him.
He's been behind that Aston Martin for the whole race.
A train is beginning to develop as well. King Enzo holding up Blaze Tim. Adam Lindbergh in the points as well now. It is a debut race as a reserve for Ferrari. Lil Purcell right behind his Ferrari teammate as well.
Yeah, it's Adam having a very quiet but good debut. P9 in the points, no incidents to speak of, just a solid race.
Solid race so far. Kept it quiet, kept it clean, kept it consistent. Rapid though. If he's going to make a move here, he's going to want to keep it clean. Goes to the inside.
Oh, just can't do it. Harry's sitting the fastest lap by, I think, about 3 seconds. Those new inters are very quick.
I was about to say, when will we see people starting to pit and committing to staying on the inters? Bino has just done that.
As has Felper.
But it stopped raining. What will we see him pit onto? I'll leave that to you, Ghost. I'll watch Rapid as he fights Afonso into the next few corners. Can't quite get close enough.
Into the pits now. It is the medium tyre.
Dry tyres going onto the cars. Rapid squeezes his way up the inside of the loop corner. Side by side for Aintree.
Felper also on medium.
Felper on the mediums as his teammate continues his fight with Afonso. He got side by side a couple times. Looks to go on the outside. Brakes much later. Can he hang it round? He can't. Afonso slams the door shut.
Tim Rothler's also on mediums.
I tell you what though, Dino, Felper can start to jump these two ahead. If they keep fighting and the inters are slower than the dry tyres, Afonso and Rapid could start to lose positions here. Everyone's coming into the pits below the top 3. Harold stayed out.
I'll keep my eyes on Bino. The
top 9 yet to pit. Lewis as well has not come in. Bino the lead car on the mediums.
It still looks a bit slower. Yeah, I think they've jumped the gun a little bit. It's still a little bit slower.
And there is spray still being kicked up by some of the cars out there. What do the leaders do though? Avesta doesn't take any risks, stays out. So does Afonso and Rapid.
Yeah, so far since I started spectating, Bino has lost half a second to Omar. It's rapidly improving though. I think Rapid may miss out on missing that chance. As may the other top 3. Bino losing a little bit more time. Lord Percival into the pits now. Will it be the medium tyre? I think it'll be the medium tyre for the pair of them. It still looks a little bit early maybe. Although it's certainly not far off.
But the drivers all keeping on the track so far, even if they've jumped the gun a little bit early. Especially for mediums to go into a wet track as well. It's very difficult condition to drive on. Rapid's still all over the back of Afonso. Just cannot squeeze his way past. But when they get onto the dry, he's certainly Rapid would fly past with a bit of DRS. He's going side by side through Cops, gives him a little tap. Again, can't get past.
Do you think the leaders are holding out for a soft tyre, maybe?
Potentially the strap, but the soft tyre really doesn't last at Silverstone. They'd have to get to at least about lap 20, I'd say.
Yeah, they'll lose too much time.
Holding out for a safety car potentially, with others crashing behind, but I just think they don't want to take the risk of losing too much time and potentially losing a race win for chance or something like that. Avesta has absolutely no need to take any kind of risks. Rapid, however, is fed up of looking at the back of the Aston Martin, takes the risk, dives into the pits.
I think that's a smart call from Rapid.
And he couldn't get past on track, so he might as well do it on strategy.
Lewis gets past Bino on the inters.
That is a key kind of detail in this. That Inter's still able to get past a car of mediums. There is now a spinner.
Although,
and it's King Enzo, I think, spun trying to get into the pits.
Rapid's on the softs.
We've seen this before from Rapid. Going to the softs early, it gives him that initial boost. It does then cost him towards the end. We saw it at the French Grand Prix where he went to the softs. It gave him that early advantage, but as the race went on, he struggled to keep up in pace.
Comfortably ahead of Bino and Lewis. Charlie with another 3-second penalty. That's going to be quite costly. Actually, no, he did have that incident early in the race. He's now currently in P17 on the inters. Liam penalty, Zalba penalty. Were they side by side in the pit lane?
They're certainly right up behind each other. But so maybe the call to go to the mediums was too early because Rapid has only extended his advantage compared to Bino, and he's now onto the soft tyres.
It is slick time. I've just seen Rapid gain 4/10 through Luffield on Blaze Team.
And Avesta stays out again.
Wow, I'm gobsmacked at that.
He has a big advantage, but you know, that's going to start cutting down more and more as Afonso does pit. And for the second race in a row, Afonso has sped into the pit lane.
Wow. Okay, it looks like... Why is Blaze Team going so slowly?
He's coming to the pits as well, I think. No, that's Herod. So, Afonso gets onto the soft tyre. DRS now enabled. The stewards believe it is now a dry race as Afonso comes towards the end of the pit lane, creeps and crawls his way there. Who's going to come out ahead? Afonso or Rapid? It's Rapid coming through turn 1. Will Afonso emerge? No, he won't. No. Rapid easily in front. He's finally passed the Aston Martin.
Hey, that was a very, very good call there from Rapid. Perfectly timed onto the soft tyres. It's just a matter of if those tyres will make it to the end now. Now the big question mark is Avesta.
35 seconds ahead. You'd think that would be enough, but you know, Rapid is extremely quick on that tyre. And Avesta, with every corner, every inch he drives, is losing more and more time. It's now down to 34.7.6 as there's two fighting behind. That's a Red Bull and a Mercedes of Zauber and Liam. Liam getting past Zauber before Stowe Corner. Avesta, the last car to pit, finally doesn't speed. 34.4 seconds for gap.
Keep your eye on Rapid. I'm going to keep me updated on where Rapid is because I'm currently on with Avesta.
Avesta pulls into his pit box now. Soft tyre being applied. On it goes, and he's away.
Rapid entering Stowe now.
It may be a lot more tyre than you think, because he's still not at the end of the pit lane. The Mercedes pit through the first.
It's a very slow pit lane as well. Silverstone painfully slow, in fact.
But he's finally got rid of that pit limiter, and over the hill he comes. Rapid sets the fastest lap, but Avesta is still going to have a comfortable margin.
Yeah, fine. Very comfortable, in fact, 4.8 seconds, 4.5.
Certainly lost time, but it's a comfortable enough margin.
With fresher tyres as well, that
is key. Felper picks up a penalty. As
however, it doesn't make a difference at the moment.
No, but Harold's got ahead of him.
Oh. Adam is on that soft tyre. 7 seconds behind Felper. Where's Tim Rothler's behind him as Liam
There's a
retires.
crash.
The crash is, yeah.
At Beckett's. We're right on board with Harry to see the crash. He's gone very, very off track there.
Wow, I'm surprised that is not a safety car.
I suppose it's enough offline for the game to say no safety car there. So we continue. Some drivers out there would have been praying for that safety car, but it doesn't come, and Avesta will be happy. He's had some terrible luck with safety cars so far this season, but he's got a stroke of luck there.
So far, Alfonso's penalty is not going to make any impact. He's over 5 seconds ahead of Bino.
Omar with the penalty, and as you said earlier, Adam, on the soft tyre up in P7, and he was one of the last ones to pit onto the dry tyres as well, so he's done tremendously there as Lord Percival goes wide and King Enzo is within DRS of him now. This is the closest meaningful battle on the track so far.
Since I pointed out he was on the soft tyres, he has gained 1.5 seconds on Felper.
And Lord Percival goes for a spin, and he does well to keep it out of the wall. Well, the track's certainly still wet, and on that curve, Lord Percival found the wet patch and spun his car around and outside of the points.
No real battles are happening at the moment. I'm keeping my eye on Adam because he's gaining quite quickly on Felper, although doesn't have the greatest loop.
That's fresh softs compared to slightly warm mediums. Felper went extremely early onto the dry tyre, as did Quentin and Charlie. They're currently the closest two cars on track to each other. Charlie's race coming undone due to a handful of penalties, including a drive-through. Certainly affected Harry as well.
Confident of a top 7 going into his home race, however, unless a safety car happens, I cannot see that happening.
But this is VRP. Late safety cars happen almost every race as Charlie again kicks out the rear on the exit of Lovefield. Avesta with the fastest lap though of 32.1, quickly topped by Afonso.
And quickly given a penalty for both Hazeltine and Quentin.
It's all happening. Lewis gets past Omar for the final point. The two Red Bull affiliated teams fighting, but the soft tyres on Lewis is a comeback drive from the man who started last. Getting through on Omar.
Points. Tim Rothler as well on a double recovery drive.
And Lewis picking up a fast lap on the lap he overtook someone. He has got some serious pace. As he now chases after King Enzo, who sits just in P9. Afonso coming back at Rapid. 5 tenths behind. Has Rapid already cooked his tyres? They're just that 1 lap older.
Afonso with that 5 second penalty, however, I'm not sure he's going to pull. If he does get past it, I'm not sure he's going to pull that in just 6 laps.
It depends on the kind of tyre wear we're seeing from Rapid, as Afonso almost lost the race slightly at Beckett, but he's got the DRS, he's going to easily pass, and he's going to have to fly up the road from Rapid. We saw in front Rapid killed his soft tyres too early. Has he done it again?
I don't think Rapid is going to be very happy to see once again the back of that Aston Martin.
Certainly no, but at least this time he knows when it comes to penalties, he technically is ahead. Vesta now matching to get a fast lap, and Afonso says anything you can do, I can do better. He's again a tenth faster.
Ooh. See some real pace shown by these front two now. 6 seconds Alfonso to Avesta. Adam's pursuit on Felper has slowed down a bit, however he's just gone within 4 seconds.
And these two...
And Felper has a penalty.
And King Enzo and Tim Rollfish's bad blood continues. They were fighting hard. King Enzo picks up a fastest lap as he gets past Tim Rollfish. Lewis coming quickly towards these two as well. But that's Enzo past Tim. But I don't think this fight is over. Tim will certainly want to bite back at the man who he had a spin with earlier in the race at the last corner.
Enzo temporarily picking up the fastest lap on a set of mediums.
Extreme pace there from the man in the Haas. Got podium at France. And Tim flies back up at him. He sent it from a long way back. And that
spins
was only
again.
ever going to end in one consequence. And that's Tim around for a third time this race.
It's not the way he would have wanted to have his final race go. 3 spins. Still only just outside the points as well.
He can still recover again. He's got the opportunity to do so. But placed him on a soft tyre is ahead of him as a... So yellow flag ignored by Omar. I assume that's probably a penalty that will be removed in the steward's room. Avesta fastest lap. Afonso doesn't respond this time, and he's got Rapid right up behind him. He hasn't been able to drop him.
Yeah, DRS obviously coming in crucial for Rapid, as it might make it a little bit easier for him to finally overtake that Aston Martin on track.
Of course, he's been up behind him, I think, for approximately 15 laps maybe, and he has yet to actually overtake that car.
I'd say 22. Actually, no, he was ahead for a few laps.
For a couple.
Yeah. And then he got straight back past.
And the overtake had to happen in the pit lane. Overtake on track though, placed him on the soft tyres, gets past Omar for the final point. And Tim in the background fighting to get right back in there again.
Adams picked up his pursuit on Felper. He's down to just 2.5 seconds. He's within that penalty range.
And a P6 on debut for the reserve would be an excellent points haul for the Ferrari team and himself. The two Swedes fighting, P6 and P7.
He's made a very good impression of himself. He's kept it very quiet, but just got on with it. Knowing to see some of the more experienced people crashing, spinning. No, it's been a very solid debut. If he can keep up this pace, he's on track to pass Felper, it looks like. It's been a very good debut from the Ferrari.
Very, very good. Rapid locked up into Vale chicane, trying to make the move. Bino picks up a penalty at the end. I was going to say Herod may get past him anyway, but that penalty almost puts a nail in that coffin. That Herod will pick up a P4 on return for the Alpine team, who sit last in the team's championship.
It's been very helpful for them. Beautiful 10 points. Actually, no, 11. 11 because Blaze did.
Certainly, yeah. Well, if Herod can get past Bruno as well, that's a 13 overall.
Yeah.
If Rapper can get past Afonso, I'm sure he'll give himself a pat on the back because he's worked hard for this. Into Cops he goes. He's just over 3/10 behind. And if he keep that margin going into the DRS zone, he'll certainly get past. But, you know, dirty air is going to play a factor and he's dropping back.
If I were Rapid, I think staying behind may be the best call for this.
But he's competitive, he finally wants to get past.
True.
He can't do it.
With Avesta nearly 9 seconds up the road, as Tim Rolfers gets another penalty, as does Enzo.
And Herod's going for the move now. He looks to the inside. Bino breaks a whole lot later, and there's contact between the two. Herod around. Heartbreak for the Alpine team as he went for the P4 position, which he already had because of penalties.
I'm sure that's going to be looked at.
Your take on it?
Felper, that I didn't really get too good of a view of it, to be
No,
dead
neither
honest.
did I, which is why I asked you. But yeah, unfortunate for Herod, but now Felper's all over the back of him, and Herod's going to have very heated tyres, but he keeps position for now. DRS
Adam's going to be metaphorically rubbing his hands at this.
Metaphorically indeed. As Felper now, he's got DRS. Can he make any kind of move? There's a bit of weaving on the straight, but not too much.
He looks for the cell. Is there going to be contact? No, they keep it clean. It's very good driving from the pair of them.
Very good, and Adam now on the soft compound. Well, I'm sure he would have been very happy with P6. I think a P5 would be
P5
outstanding
is
for him.
Back. Right there.
Felper all over the back. and keeping all over the back through Maggots and Beckett's. Rapid once again has failed to get past Afonso at the front. Felper may get passed by Adam here, and he's got no ERS to play with.
Adam doesn't have much, only 13%.
But Felper's gone for it. I couldn't make it.
Can't quite do it.
Two laps to go. Avesta en route to victory with Rapid still stuck behind Afonso, but with penalties he'll get that P2. Afonso will have P3. Charlie gets past Lord Percival on the last few laps. The field very spread out in some places as Tim Rollfish
And Adam's
pits.
going for it on Felper possibly. Don't quite get it.
Yeah. They'll have DRS now, so will the Williams of Felper. Tim pitting for potentially the fastest lap. Quinton having the same idea as well. Tim wants to leave VRP with at least something.
The fastest lap could be a nice way to go out, unless Quinton takes it.
But Avesta's certainly set a very high benchmark to hit.
Oh, Rapid almost going into the back of Afonso at Stowe.
And still he stays behind.
As we're now on to the last lap. Avesta has drove absolutely brilliantly. Didn't quite get pole position, missed out by just 9 thousandths. However, his race has been pure class, pure. I mean, especially once it started to dry up a little bit on those inters, he just flew away from Afonso and Rapid. He's now 9.5 seconds into the lead. You see an Aston Martin in front of him who's ghosted. That looks like Harry. It's been an utterly dominant performance.
Absolutely. The moment he got past Afonso, he's flown away, and he really hasn't looked back or even been challenged at all, really. His maybe scariest moment was being the last to pit off the Inters.
He's timed that relatively perfectly.
Absolutely has, as Quentin right behind going for the fastest lap. May actually overtake Avesta.
Already weaving his Avesta. Well deserved.
Weaving before the Vale chicane as he comes round the final corner. Avesta picks up his first win of the season. The reigning champion dominated throughout the rain and wins the British Grand Prix. Afonso behind will get P2 on track. Adam gets a penalty at the very end. Afonso drops to P3, Rapid P2, and Adam has thrown away a potential P6 here as Felper gets past Herod. Bino will pick up P4, but Felper and Herod battling for the last few corners. So long as Herod doesn't pick up a penalty here, he will pick up P5. He gets the rear kicked out. Felper P5, Herod P6, and Adam at the end throws it away and into the gravel as well. P7 for the reserve, not a bad showing from him. King Enzo P8, Lewis up to P9, and Blaze Tim will pick up the final point in P10 as he fights with Omar through the last corner. And they both make it to the line.
Just.
And, well, the amount of penalties Omar had, you saw them side by side, he ended up 11 seconds behind Blaze Tim.
I think Adam is going to be absolutely gutted with that penalty on the final lap. It's a very good race, however, just lets that P6 slip away in the last few corners. However, one man who's not going to be gutted is Avesta, a purely dominant drive.
Dominant is the right way to put it. 25 points towards him, 25 towards Mercedes. And Avesta's season, which hasn't really kick-started yet, at the halfway point, that's now a platform for him to build. Gets the point advantage over Rapid, albeit Rapid did come second, but a good opportunity now for him to start building on something this season and maybe try and retain that title. Ghost, I asked Scott last week, so I'll ask you this week. driver of the day nominees and your overall driver of the day.
How many drivers do I pick?
As many as you like, as many as you feel deserve a shout out.
Okay, so first the obvious one, Avesta, dominant drive. What can be said? Another one, Herod from P16 on the grid up to P5, brilliant race from him. Adam on debut up 7 positions, deserves a shout out. Lewis up 11. Yeah, I think they'll be my picks for driver of the day.
Yeah, certainly some outstanding drives throughout the field. But Avesta's so dominant, Herald with that comeback, and Adam under the radar. So, that has been round 5 completed at Silverstone. The rain has started again, but for now,
yeah.
until Belgium next week, same time, we'll see you then.